Welcome to Boucher Field here on the beautiful campus of Husson University, where tonight not only the home opener for the Husson women's soccer team, but also the home opener for the entire 2025-2026 athletic year for the Husson Eagles. Philip, 298 days ago, this Husson team was crowned champions of the North Atlantic Conference. Since, they have lost 12 players and have gotten off to a 0-1-1 start to the 2025 campaign, as they are looking to reload and keep last year's momentum going with a home opening W. Standing in their way, though, the Bates College Bobcats. The Bobcats went 5-9-1 last fall, but played spoiler to Husson last season, winning 4-1. History is also on the Bobcats' side, as they have not lost to Husson since 2010. Caden Trenwith on play-by-play, Phil Robarge, the color commentator today. Phil, with Husson losing 12 players last year in the offseason, what is the biggest adjustments you think this team has to make?
Thank you, Caden. Yeah, they don't just lose their presence, but they lose their voices as well in the training, on the training grounds every single day, and you lose them in the big moments. As far as what they need to adjust, well, now it's other players' turn to step up and fill in their shoes. Seniors like Higgins and Donahue will be playing even more minutes on defense, and they'll need to be the anchors as well as the midfielders and the forwards now. But they're a very well-coached team, Caden. Dennis Mullins has been in this position before, and they'll need to get his younger players now to buy into that system. It might take some ironing out during the season, but at the end of it, I think we'll see Husson on top this year.
And then on the flip side, Bates' first game of the season. Husson has already played 2 games at a round robin this weekend, hosted by Colby Sawyer in New Hampshire. What are the disadvantages for that as the Bobcats traveling up to Bangor, 2-hour drive, and you're facing a team that has already found their legs early on?
Well, exactly. You said it. I mean, it's a long drive for them, and that's their first game, too. I mean, they haven't had – normally when you're in preseason, that's a time for coaches to change things around, to experiment with things, and for you to really adjust to playing with new players. You don't have that now. It's their first game. It's hard to tell what kind of team they'll be. We might see 1 or 2 changes from head coach Joe Vari, but players don't, again, have that chance to run like they do in preseason, get their legs under them. So we might have 1 or 2 tired legs earlier in the match, and maybe exposing them to quick counterattacks, and that's something Husson could take advantage of.
Definitely a deep bench here for the Bobcats. Definitely something you might see, especially in these opening games. Out-of-conference matchup. Don't matter too much to where you end up. It does look good if you end up winning your conference, go on and play in the NCAA National Tournament. These games do look pretty important, especially for the Eagles, who are fighting up in a class right now, facing a NESCAC school. But series history does favor the Bates. Philip, how much does that matter here in this game by the time that first whistle blows?
Well, you said it earlier. History is not on Husson's side. However, the saying goes that you're only as good as the last match you played, right? So if we're talking about that, once the whistle blows, nothing matters in these except the next 90 minutes that's in front of you. So a lot has been said about Husson's 12 departures, Caden, but Bates has had some key departures of their own, 9 to be exact, and they could prove very vulnerable on defense as their their former starting goalie, I should say, Ryman, and as well as Gismondi and a few others, especially in their midfield and as well as in their attack. They're going to be having to do without them, and again, we just don't know. Without them having a preseason, we don't know what kind of team they will be.
Yeah, absolutely. That series history we were talking about, Bates leads the all-time matchup 13-2-1. These teams have played every year, excluding the 2020 COVID year, since 2005. Bates has not lost to Husson since 2010. We will see if they can turn the tide. It's Husson's home opener, Bates' season opener. One of these teams will take a fairly early step forward into 2025 at their starting lineup and national anthems, brought to you by interim sports information director Zachary Mills.
Guys, captain.
Fans, welcome to Boucher Field for today's game featuring the Bobcats of Bates College and your Eagles of Husson University. Husson University would like to thank its corporate sponsors: Adidas, DPI Blue Shark Cleaning Restoration Incorporated, Buffalo Wild Wings, Karen Signs, Casella, Chick-fil-A, Courtyard by Marriott Bangor, Creative Print Services, Cross Insurance, Steel Bus Line, Domino's, Downey Orthopedics, Dice Arts, First National Bank, Gatorade, Greenwood Equipment Sales, Harvest Moon Deli, Hero Sports Grill and Entertainment Center, Holiday Inn, Pepsi, Pizzeria Uno, Ron's Moving, Soccer by Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy, School Street Picture Center Incorporated, Ticket Smarter, U.S. Air Force, Barney Buick GMC Mazda, and White Sporting Goods. The NCAA, North Atlantic Conference, and Husson University promote good sportsmanship by the student athletes, coaches, and spectators at today's contest. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from Boucher Field. At this time, let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's contest. First, for the visiting Bobcats. In goal, a junior, number 1, Sydney Litney. A sophomore defender, number 3, Kate Leland. A junior midfielder, number 7, Kate Nagaro. A junior midfielder, number 8, Rachel Suh. A sophomore midfielder, number 12, Gwen Jameson. A senior forward, number 19, Gabby Monaco. A senior defender, number 21, Tess Griffith. A junior defender, number 22, Ruby Hill. A sophomore forward, number 23, Eleanor Martin. A first-year midfielder, number 25, Carolyn Kelly. And a first-year defender, number 33, Keelan Mader. Bates is coached by Joe Very. At this time, let's meet the starting lineup for your Husson University Eagles. In goal, a freshman from Biddeford, Maine, number 44, Gabriella Smith. A senior from Ellsworth, Maine, number 6, Addie Lasley. A junior from Carmel, Maine, number 7, Lindsay Reed. A senior from Westport, Massachusetts, number 8, Laura Martell. A senior from Holden, Maine, number 13, Devin St. Louis. A senior from Herman, Maine, number 19, Madison Higgins. A senior from Deerfield, New Hampshire, number 23, Kaylee Knoll. A freshman from Tinley Park, Illinois, number 28, Taya Gerfin. A sophomore from Las Vegas, Nevada, number 29, Paige Dunn. A junior from Corinth, Maine, number 30, Riley Speed. And a junior from Petoskey, Michigan, number 33, Emma Nicholson. Husson is coached by Dennis Mullins, and he's assisted by Nick Christensen, Matt Goodman, Chris Selby, and Megan Buddymeyer. Fans, at this time, we ask you please rise and honor America for the playing of our national anthem.
That was your starting lineups brought to you by Zachary Mills from the Sports Information Department. Phillip, couple new names out there for the Eagles. A lot of new names out there for the Bobcats. Who would you say is the standout player for both these starting lineups?
Well, I think it starts up top for Husson. You got to look at the two forwards that'll be out there. Addy Lasley out of Ellsworth. He has some speed, and I think that could really catch any Bates opponents off guard. And I think, funny enough, it's going to be the goalkeeper for Bates. I think in terms of their importance in the match, it's just going to be huge to make sure that they can get out to a good start and to really get some ground under them as far as defensively. That's what's going to have to be their strong suit if they're going to want to get ahead or rather contain this Husson attack.
It's the junior goalkeeper for Bates, Sydney Litney. Only one game started last year, did have 4 appearances, so someone who definitely knows the presence in net. But definitely for the Eagles, Addy Lasley is definitely going to be that name to watch. Already won co-player of the week for the North Atlantic Conference after a 2-goal, 1-assist performance this weekend in the doubleheader round robin. The former NAC Rookie of the Year looks to replace 23 goals scored by Kate Harriman, who was up top last year. As we do apologize, as there might be an appearance of a spider at some point throughout this stream. First game back of the 2025-2026 year. We do have a spider lodged in the camera who is making a little home. There's a web up in there right now.
That's right, Caden. Yeah, we've got some people on that, but you know what? We have an unexpected guest, and we'll hope that it isn't proved to be the difference between these two teams today.
I'm going to call him the Good Luck Spider, and I think I might call him Petey.
Petey?
Petey the Spider.
Petey the Spider.
After the great Peter Parker. If he appears, don't be scared. He's not going to jump through the screen. He's just hanging out, ready to watch a great women's soccer matchup.
If you have arachnophobia, well, it's about time to get over it, because this is a great game that we're going to see, and I wouldn't want to miss it.
You can imagine our shock when we pulled up the camera and there was a spider in the way of the field.
Yeah.
Hudson Riley Craig is on the camera today. He's going to do his best to show us the spider at some point.
Right, that's right.
Don't force the spider to come out, though.
Tough job for any cameraman, but he's the man. He will have to be today. Here we go, Caden.
Kickoff just about to get underway. Now the referee meeting ensues.
Yeah, we had a little trouble with this start as some miscommunication happened between the referees. He went to Thomas instead of Boucher Field here at Husson, but it's okay. We'll forgive him.
The delayed start time is something to keep in mind. Husson did not start warming up until about the 7:05 mark. Bates did stop warming up at about 6:55 and had about 15 more minutes of rest.
Yeah.
Not sure if that's going to play in fact. What do you think, Phil?
I don't think so. I think just the fact that you've been warmed up 15 minutes, I don't think will make too much of a difference for them. But I think the real test for them will be this first game, because, I mean, they haven't had a chance to fully run out there and you know, get their legs under them, as the saying goes. So I think that's more of a factor than this warm-up tonight, but we'll see. We will see.
As they're still getting ready down there, the ref crew still trying to get connected. It looks like on their radios, it looks like Paige Dunn will be the original kick taker out of the middle. Listed as a midfielder, Devin St. Louis and Addy Lasley to her side.
Could be a kick and then run. Maybe tactics.
That is
off
a
the
play we
kickoff.
saw Husson do last year a couple times. Kick it back and then try to get it to Addie Lasley in space.
They're playing a high line already, Bates. I mean, they're really congested in there, so maybe they're trying to anticipate that. I'm not sure.
They're trying to delay this home opener as long as possible, Philip.
That's right. Any minute now.
But you certainly are right compared to Husson, who is playing they're about the same length or depth, I should say,
Playing
in
deeper, aren't they?
the
Yeah.
backfield. As Coach Dennis Mullins screams out and gets the players where they want. As the referees finally taking place on the touch lines.
Line was on the wrong side, I think. Or maybe he forgot his flag.
And it will be Paige Dunn to kick it away all the way back to Kaylee Nolt, the 2025 home opener for all the Husson Athletics, hoping to claim another conference title. As here's Addie Lasley right away. Flag goes up immediately. An offside free kick for Bates.
That was a good initial charge by Husson there. Good ball by St. Louis there, but again, the offside flag came up. Expect that. Oh, expect a quick start from Husson here, looking to try and get Bates early.
Despite her center back position, Kaylee Nolt is definitely known for her through balls a couple times last year, being able to spring an attack just off a very long through ball. Evan St. Louis hits the ground, but picked up by the Bobcats. Here is Jamison running up the left side. Lindsay Reed on her, and it'll be cleared away by Nicholson, getting her first touches at Boucher Field. The transfer student from Rocky Mountain College in Montana was with the team last year, did miss the entire season with the injury, but was a part of that championship team, but officially getting her first minutes at Boucher Field.
That was a great ball.
Great through ball to Jamison, and it's going to be scooped up by Smith.
Yeah, great recognition by Smith there. That was a great ball in, but again, just, well, as Very just said, she had to get that to that a little bit faster. Smith was able to beat her to it.
Speed and Jamison battling it out, and it will be out of bounds for a Bates throw-in.
Yeah, that's the physicality early, and I expect that to continue throughout this game. This will be.
Ref changes his mind last second. Husson
Yeah.
throw in.
That was interesting.
We can see the style of play Husson wants to play. They are very much pressuring this back line of Bates as soon as one of those defenders gets the ball.
It helps too because they're playing a higher line. So if they can get pressure, that means that they can get possession and make a quick run and be on the break.
Taya Gerfin on the right-hand side. He'll be out of bounds for a Bates throw-in.
Patience, we shift. Maddie, just be aware. Go, ladies.
Addie Lasley scoops it up after the turnover, turns it right back over to the Bates midfield. Jamison finds Leland. Gives it back to her center back in Tess Griffith, the senior captain. Gives it all the way back to her goalie. Slow build up so far for the Bobcats, Phil, but we have seen them spring some action very quickly.
Yeah, they've gotten out in front of a few of those passes, and when you're playing off the back line like that, when you're looking to start your offense from there, always risky, but
Jamison couldn't keep it in. It'll be a throw in for Husson right about at the halfway line.
I think the possession battle will be one in the midfield as it normally is. I really think that's going to be key today. Who can win those midfield battles, win the 50-50 balls.
Page done with some speed, putting some pressure on. It will be a goal kick for the Bobcats. Look to be a good shield right there from Leland. Not touching the ball and forcing that goal kick for her keeper.
Right shoulder, Paige, right shoulder. Watch the checking run, Lindsay. Well done, ladies. That's okay.
Husson midfield forcing a lot of turnovers so far, Phil.
Yeah, that's right. Just one or two errant balls by the defense, and Husson are just right there early to attack to it and get possession back.
Choose someone. Go on.
Misplay by the defender. Addie Lasley putting some pressure on. Blocked one pass. Tried to block another, but it'll be out for a throw in. A good little battle from Addie Lasley going against the Bates defenders. Good little fake turn by Nicholson as she gives it all the way back to Smith. Trying to find an avenue, but just turns it over. As Bates pushes the attack now after the Smith misplay. Shot!
Ooh.
That one just goes wide.
Yeah, it was a great little move by Jamison, but before that, Caden, there was great play by Nalton Co. to really stuff out those attacks. That was really the first time that Bates had the chance to get into Husson's half. It's just been all in their own half so far, but it was a nice move by Jamison and just lacking the finish.
10 starts as a rookie for Jamison, has pushed a lot of action so far on this left-hand side for the Bobcats. Definitely a name to watch as this game winds down. Nice little move out through the middle. Tried to be a through ball, but it will just go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think that just didn't quite, the timing wasn't quite right for that ball, but I do think it was the right ball there to play. I mean, she's breaking from her defender and just couldn't catch up to it in time. Husson's doing a good job, though, taking away those short passes and forcing Bates to take longer ones, and more of a risk when you do that, and it's harder and harder to do. But Bates showing that they're not afraid to do that thus far.
Taya Gerfin with the through ball, but quickly scooped up. An attack declined by the Bates defenders. Very much a chess match so far, Phil, between these Bates defenders and the Husson forwards.
That's right. Yeah, it's the pressing early. We see
big ball played in. That one was almost very costly. Litney seemed to misplay it in the air, just a little bit of a misjudge.
Yeah,
Evan St. Louis charging.
You could tell there she just was in two minds about what to do. She let it bounce, but, I mean, that could have been very costly for the Bobcats.
Foul called in the middle, drawed by Carolyn Kelly, freshman midfielder, getting her first collegiate start.
Addie or Dev, one of you drop in, one stay high.
have to see her on set pieces, just how dangerous they can be. Again, they haven't played a match yet. Haven't really had a chance to work these in game, so this being the first one.
Two-person wall. Griffith with the kick. Doesn't find a Bates player and just picked up by Smith with ease.
Yeah, it was a nice idea, but it just wasn't good enough in the end. That ran all the way through to the keeper.
Nicholson tries to go for the slide. Durfin there to get it away for the Eagles to reset. Good little turnout today for the first collegiate event of the academic calendar, Phil.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're seeing people show up in their numbers, and they want to see if Husson can do it, if this can finally be the team to beat these Bobcats.
Good read again by Smith, grabbing that one up from the throw-in.
Seems to be quite a few away supporters, too, that obviously they travel well, Bates.
It's a weird game for me and you. We kind of have a foot in both of these pots. Addie Lasley trying to break through the back line. Good play by Leland. Lasley goes for the slide. I believe they'll call the foul instead of the throw-in.
Yeah, she just got too much of her on there, but yeah, you're right. They have called it a foul.
But as I was saying, me and Philip both grew up about 15 minutes from Bates College, beautiful campus. Now both students here at Husson University.
Emma, step up one. Taya's got to be able to go out wide.
Good pressure again.
Emma, up. You got to shoot.
Riley Speed forcing the action. Go out for another throw-in. A lot of speed so far for these Eagles.
Yeah, they have kept up that intensity that they had in just the first couple of minutes with their first couple of chances. We'll have to see now if they can continue with that as the substitutes come in and as the game gets further along.
Come on, Black. Stand her up, Maddie. Pressure. Keep it in. Time. Hey, hold the door. Thank you. Way to battle, Maddie Higgins.
They'll call the holding foul on Jamison. Free kick for Nolt to take. I think we mentioned everything in our open besides the fact that we have not talked about Kaylee Nolt bringing in another Defensive Player of the Year for the North Atlantic Conference. That is her second as she looks to start her senior campaign.
Yeah, exactly. She's just a cut above the rest, really. I mean, it's just no surprise to any of her teammates. Just the stability and the fortitude that she brings to this Husson Eagles team just goes to show. Very deserving of the award.
So there she is again, but this time a misplayed pass back to Nicholson. Not on the same page quite yet. Only 3 games together, and it will be a Bates throw-in.
Yeah, and as they get more and more acquainted with each other and they're able to form that partnership, I mean, that could be pretty deadly for Husson as far as
good cross there.
Yeah, good chance there. Just a little too close to the keeper, but that's pretty smart from Smith to recognize the danger of that.
How about Smith in her Boucher debut? Making a few good reads so far. That one errant pass that almost cost her, but so far so good from the freshman.
Exactly, and she'll need to be. I mean, she's just going to be crucial to the defense.
Here's Martin. But Emma Nicholson is there.
So we're seeing more and more of the pressure now being applied from Bates. Does Husson need to find a way to regain possession and start building their attack better?
Mater with the throw-in. Look at the Bates setup right now, Phil. It looks more like a corner kick here.
She's going to go long for sure. Yeah, just not able to make solid contact on it, but certainly a good idea. And you mentioned that now. I think Husson might be realizing the the danger of that threat now with a long throw, and that can prove to be very much, like you said, like a corner. And you know, if you can get that close into the 6-yard box, just where the keeper can't get it.
Cross played in. Headed around, hits the deck. Nobody seems to want it. Scooped up and out. Bates, they're able to reset. Jamison hits the floor over there, but it will be a Husson throw-in.
Yeah, just a scrum through that corner. I couldn't pick out any of the players that had the ball. Nobody really getting a chance to get solid contact on it. But again, you got to be wary with those situations. You got to know that ball can drop anywhere, and you got to be ready for it.
Go back away, Maddie. Connect.
Playa seemed to reverse here in the first 5 minutes, Phil. The first 5 minutes really looked like it was going to be all Husson, the way that midfield was playing. But all of a sudden, these Bates Bobcats have seemed to turn it on.
Exactly. I think this game is going to ebb and flow and go in the very different ways possession-wise, but it's just a matter for Husson to continue to apply that pressure and continue to have that energy that they've shown early.
Long run here for Mater. She's going to dump it off to her forwards. Nice little cutback and shot there by Monaco. Scooped up by Smith with ease.
Yeah, it's a good turn again by Monaco, able to get by her defender and get a shot on her dominant foot. Just not able to get the power behind it.
St. Louis trying to play a through ball to Lasley. Another well-defended through ball, though, by the Bobcats.
Double, double, double. Yes, Maddie, stay with her. Maddie, you're up there. Right now, you're up there right now. Now you can quit. Now you can One of you. Good, good, Maddie, good. Well done, Rye. Keep going, Rye, keep going, Rye.
Good little pass in there on the touchline by the Bobcats. Trying to play a through ball. Here's Suh trying to force some pressure on Nolt.
Can we win this? Connect to pass.
See both coaches early, Caden, being very vocal. That's something that is the strong point for both of these coaches. They like to talk. They like to get the message to their players and influence the game.
Offside flag was up. Advantage will be played.
That's just not a great ball there, but
Drop, drop, drop.
That one just rolls all the way out for the goal kick. As Nolt will aid Smith with tying of the shoelaces. Those pesky gloves don't want to come off.
no, I know.
Hey, nothing.
No.
That's 2 hands in the back.
Yeah, it looked to be questionable there, but the ref says play on. He's going to let him play. Or physicality, as they're saying.
It's Martell who fell with the possession in the midfield for the Eagles. No call, but Husson regains the ball either way.
Okay, together we get up and put up pressure now. Come on. take away the keeper. Watch the back pass, Steph.
We thought it was going to be who wins the first ball in the midfield, Phil, but so far I think we can comfortably say Bates is winning the first ball, Husson is winning the second, and that's what's led to most of these Husson opportunities. Here's one right here. Addie Lasley with speed. She hits it. This one's going in the parking lot.
Yeah, we'll get to that first point later, Caden. She just could not. I think that ball took a bounce just before she hit it, so she was just not able to catch up with it, really. But as you said, Husson winning that second ball, I mean, that's just, if you're not going to take the first ball and really make anything of it, and you're going to force those second balls, you're going to have to win them too. And if you can't win them, then that kind of negates winning that first one.
Nice little head pass after the free kick. Gerfin takes it on the center, trying to give it to the midfield. Finds Dunn. Here's Lasley looking for some attackers. She'll find Speed, who takes a touch towards the midfield, but wins the second ball.
Yeah, that ball to Speed just had to be in front of her a little more. She had to slow her run to catch up to it, and I think that's what caused her to mess up that touch a little bit.
So wants a corner, so does the Bates bench, but referee on the sideline will call for the goal kick.
Good hustle, Riley. Way to work.
Another layoff to Nault. They're going to let her run with some space here. Plays it off to her midfield.
Come on, Ryan. Come on, Ryan. Go ahead, Deb. Take a chance.
Good win there by Griffith.
Strong, strong. Good.
Yeah, it's something that's really a testament to how good Bates are. I mean, you look at it a few minutes ago, that pass that wasn't too good by Dunn led to loss of possession and just more and more chances for Bates. Seeming harder and harder to really find that pass. Has to be perfect for Husson now. It really can't. It doesn't. If it's not perfect, it's not going to work out for them.
Good shot there by Martin, blocked in front. We will have another Bates corner. Last time the corner for Bates almost found the back of the net. It just no one could get a foot on it. Just what looked like to be a rugby skirmish and on that PK line. We'll see what happens this time. Looks to be more of a set play instead of the crowd the keeper. This one's going to the back post. Good play by Nicholson to get it up and away for another corner on the other side.
That was a good job by Nicholson to get up high and get that ball away, because that was dangerously close to the goalie there.
We'll also see the Boucher debut of Ailey Irons as she comes in for Speed on this left mid.
Yeah, she's already found the score sheet and in her first game against Colby Sawyer the preseason, so definitely someone who can get in there and win a header.
You ready to step on the short?
Ball played in. This one's a hard pass through. Can't get it cleared. Smith is going to pick it up right on her right post, and she'll try to get this one away. Other than that Lasley chance, not too many offensive opportunities for the Eagles in these last 10 minutes.
You're right, Caden. It's something that they really need to change, and it's been because of just these few miss passes, and they've just given possession away cheaply, rather, and it's really cost them in terms of their offensive production.
Physical battle in the middle. Advantage was played, but referee will call it back. That foul will be on St. Louis.
Get up, 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 up.
Cleveland trying to find her options. Finds her forward. What a through ball here. This is Jamison looking for a cross. She gets it. Good play by Nicholson. She clears it away.
I definitely think we've seen Bates settle into their game in this half. They're really starting to create more chances. They're out on the front foot, and they're getting the ball wide, and as we're seeing, it's paying dividends for them.
Another cross again. This one touch. Gobbled up by Smith.
Yeah, just not able to get a clean strike on that. And sometimes, you just get unlucky with the ball that you get. Wasn't a bad ball either. Have to see now how Husson can respond in terms of their offense. Something needs to be changed in order for them to be getting more chances.
Cassie Schilter and Haley Tarbox will be waiting in the substitution box. Tarbox, a player as a freshman who made quite an impact off the bench last year. Didn't see too many starts, but when she got on the field, very technical midfielder for this Husson team. As they'll check in, as it will be Madison Higgins and Paige Dunn, who will take a breather here. About 25 minutes played, still tied at 0.
Yeah, a lot of the Husson offense was going through Dunn, and now again with Tarbox in there, looking to maybe throw something different at Bates right now. As you said, a good, solid player off the bench.
As there she is right now. She'll lay it off to her back line. Her and Schilter picking up their first touches rather quickly. Here's Jamison again, forcing a lot of action right down this line, seeing if she can find a cross. Nice little moves going on right there in the corner. Nice play there. Looked to be Sud trying to force a little action in the box. Couldn't get it to go. But Husson has not controlled this ball at all here in the last 5 minutes. It has pretty much all been the Bobcats.
No, and they really can't afford too much more of this. I mean, as the Bobcats continue to figure them out, it's going to be harder and harder for them to just defend. They're going to have to throw something at them here soon. Not a strange thing for Husson to find a goal against the run of play. Something that should be in the back of all the Bates' mind here.
Hasley picks it up, lays it off for Gerfin, who's going to take it down, trying to find a cross early, trying to find St. Louis at the PK mark, can't get there. Bates regains possession.
Get out here, Ailey. Ailey's on.
See much more fluid passing now since the substitution. Really able to break open this game.
Haley Iron trying to find Lasley, but she'll actually find Gerfin on the other side of the 18.
Yeah, Lasley was heading to that one, but ball was always meant for Gerfin. We see a foul.
As I'll have to agree with Coach Mullins there. That is not a bad foul. The way the Bobcats were trying to set up that counterattack. Kaylee Knoll takes the foul, and they'll allow them to all reset.
That's right, Caden. Believe it or not, there is such a good thing as a good foul, and that's a very good example of that one. Kind of seems counterintuitive to say that, but it's true. That was a smart play.
St. Louis trying to force a through ball to Lasley. I feel like we said that a lot here in the first half.
Yeah, we have. It's certainly been something that Husson have been looking to, and I mean, it's paid off a little bit for them, but you got to think that they'll be looking to that more to really bring them that first goal.
Jay, can we sub as well? She was here with her.
I'll just let her go on. I don't see why they have to win.
Coach Mullins trying to get Evie Flint on, the Sheffield, England transfer junior.
Checking in for the Bobcats, number 4, Aurora Rella Neal.
Ooh.
You let me sub, that wouldn't have happened.
As a Husson player down, we'll take a small break right here. 0-0, just about 30 minutes played so far, 16 minutes to go in the half. Laura Martell back to her feet, and that's who Evie Flint is now going in for. As the teams reset,
Eagles, number 10.
Jackie Pangborn also now getting ready to make her Boucher debut. She will have to wait a little bit longer, though.
Hey, watch the quick one, just be aware.
It'll be a drop ball.
Press it, Dev, right away, Dev.
Yeah, we'll see now here if what Bates decides to do. Hearing Coach Mullins yelling at his team to pressure.
And that is what they'll do. Couple good plays by Bates, though. And they'll be able to reset, try to set up a counterattack. Devin St. Louis will come off, take a breather. Jackie Pangborn will go on. There will also be Nadia Schwartz and Zoe Middlestat for Bates going into that top line. Addie Lasley trying to force a ball over to Ailey Irons, who dumps it off to Pangborn.
Number 10, Nadia.
Be interesting to see with Pangborn here. I mean, she was very, very clinical finisher with John Baps.
Number 11, Jacqueline Pangborn.
See if she could really have an instant impact for this Husson team.
Hey, shoulder cast, shoulder.
Knoll tries the slide tackle. Doesn't work out too well that time, but Husson does a great job defensively. Their Griffin will get called for a foul. That will lead to a Bates free kick.
Hey, you got to be there earlier.
Good pickup by Lindsay Reed in the midfield. She really settled in last year and was a key component to the championship run, settling into what ended up being a defensive midfield spot, winning a couple of defensive player of the weeks down the stretch.
Yeah, it's just a testament to how good their coaching is down there. Coach Mullins and company able to just...
Jamison with the shot in. That one deflect off Schwartz, but Smith picks it up. Bates is really forcing the action, and you have to imagine it is due.
Yeah, it is. It's just a matter of time. It seems Husson have to find a way to just limit that. That looked a lot more dangerous than it ended up being, but I mean, that one easily could have found the roof of the net.
Haven't seen too many runs down the right side. They are really trying to force this left side with Jamison, trying to get that left-footed cross as they go for it again. This time, the pass gets away from Jamison and will go out for a Husson throw-in.
Evie, we can't wait. They're not going to give you a second. Swing it. Move it.
Good movement across the back line for the Eagles. Nicholson tries to turn, but it's going to be a turnover instead, forcing the action. Smith gets it away. Ball still in play. And that one will go out for a corner kick.
As sustained pressure by Bates. We see again forcing Smith into another save. She's had to be big for Husson this half.
Corner kick goes short. They're going to try to cross it in. Well defended by Husson again. The coaching staff here for Husson was screaming. But well defended. But Bates still has an opportunity if they want it. Hard foul in the middle. Flint will pick it up. Give it out to Irons. Couldn't connect, and it's another turnover. This one gets away. Smith is going to reach out and pick it up. No hesitations on those balls from Smith. You don't normally see that from a freshman, Phil.
No, she's really just pretty aggressive in terms of protecting her goal and coming out. That's big for Husson. I mean, you don't want somebody that's timid, somebody that's going to be in two minds when that ball comes out. You want somebody that's going to know that they can get it. And being a freshman, I mean, that is pretty surprising. It seems pretty uncharacteristic of somebody that's just new to the team, but, I mean, she's doing well.
Couple nice moves by Lasley. She'll dump it back off to Schilter.
And this is exactly what Husson need here. They need a period of just sustained possession and really...
Good turn by Tarbox. She's going to try to play a through ball. Nobody's there for the end of it except the goalkeeper, Litney.
Yeah, just not the right ball there. She didn't have enough time as she thought she had. She knew she couldn't go forward, but you got to think she was looking to play Lasley. Just couldn't find her.
Good play by Nicholson. They're trying to gain possession, settle this ball down, which they do. Nicholson will get it again. This pass looked to go off a Bates defender, and it did.
I think Husson will take 0-0 at this half. I really don't think that they'd have too many complaints if Bates don't find the score sheet here. I mean, they'd love a goal. They'd love it now, but things to start thinking about is the first half draws nearer to its close.
Aggressive play in the midfield. They'll call nothing as one Bates player hits the deck. Turn in the middle. Tarbox falls, and they will call the foul. Look to be on Leland.
Yeah, just a little push in the back from Leland there. It's always going to be a foul.
We saw these free kicks a lot last year. Husson plays these a little bit different than any team that we really other saw in the North Atlantic Conference. Kaylee Nolt with a big kick here can really get this to that 6-yard box. This one headed away. Couldn't find Lasley on the back post.
Yeah, a little far out for a header, but, I mean, it was a good ball nonetheless, just not enough power generated on it.
Nolt forcing some aggression in the midfield. Could have been a little scary if the Bates Bobcats decided to counterattack, but they could not string a pass together to do so. Hard contact in the middle, another one that goes awry. Another throw in, this time for Bates. Hannah Ribeiro and Nicole Tandowitzki check in for Bates. 8 minutes to go, still 0-0.
And Jamison, who was really a key threat on that left side, has gone off. So now those Husson defenders are going to be breathing a little sigh of relief, seeing the back of her jersey finally.
Schilter and Irons, ever since checking in, has done a really good job trying to keep her in check. They did allow a few crosses, but nothing that Nolt and Nicholson did not scoop up. So here's a cross in from the right side. Another blocked attempt from the Husson back line. Trying to force something Lasley all the way back from that midfield position. Trying to just get it out right now. Here's Pangburn.
We're definitely seeing a change in shape from Husson. They're really trying to ensure that they're solid defensively, which is good when you're playing a team like Bates, but again, it leaves you vulnerable offensively. It's hard to control possession. You don't have people forward, we don't have numbers forward.
We talked about the history between these two teams. Husson has not won a matchup since 2010. They haven't scored more than 2 goals in a matchup since that same year. So if they want to win this game, it is going to have to come down to defense and probably one goal either way.
I was just going to say, Caden, it doesn't, from what I've seen this first half, it really doesn't look like Husson can get 2 goals today. So it might, like you said, just be about a 1-goal game and just keeping Bates off the score sheet. But as you said, they've been defensively, those defensively, they've been solid since those changes.
Ribeiro will take it. We saw Jamison take all the corner kicks before she got subbed off. So see what happens here. This one, another good clearance. This Husson back line is just making life difficult for Bates.
Yeah, it has. And I mean, the ball could have been a little bit better. You really want to get over that first defender, but regardless, you're right, Caden, that back line is doing a job for Husson right now. So they clear another one out.
Nicholson and Null have just done a great job. There has been some leakage from the wing backs, but they have done a tremendous job of just cleaning it up. That is the role of that center back, and they are doing it really well.
Yeah, and more on those wing backs. I mean, there's always going to be something that comes through. That's just the nature of the wing backs and what their job is. They have to be back for defense, but they also provide help on the offense, and they can't do both, even though they're asked to. It's going to be a sacrifice one way, and that's why you have those 2 strong defenders in there. That's why it's important to have them, because you will have this with formation. That is the weakness.
Tendeninski now down the line. She's going to try to force something here. Cuts back. Looking for some options. She finds Schwartz in the box. This one's going to be a cross in. Far post. Nobody's there. Out for a goal kick. 5 minutes remaining. Score remains where we started.
Yeah, it was a great run by Tendeninski. She really just, at the end of it, found no more room to run in, but she was able to recover it and get a good ball in.
Jillian Long checks in now.
Again, primarily, though, they're pushing that left side, not too much on the right side. We'll see if that changes.
Adding some offense over there on the wing. Jillian Long, 60 goals in her high school career. That goes along with 35 assists. Handball in the middle. It will be a Bates free kick. Another good grab by Smith.
Well, yeah, we can see where those 60 goals and those 30-plus assists come from, Caden. I mean, that was just a great first touch on the ball and a lot of skill to get by her defender. But, again, Smith strong in goal. Exactly the presence that Husson needed.
Good turn by Tarbox, trying to force something. She'll fall again, and it will be a foul. The immediate push by Husson with 3:40 to go in the half.
Looks like one or two big names looking to get into the box and maybe get their head on something here. Looks like everybody's up for Husson.
It will only be Nault and Schilter back. Ball played in. We'll see if anybody can get a head on it. Nobody can immediately.
Oh,
Lindsay
wow.
Reed! Lindsay Reed makes it 1-0 Eagles with 3:10 to go in the first half.
That was incredible awareness by Reed. Absolutely sublime header. Flicking that one, a flick header. Wow, that was a great effort and deserving of a goal. You mentioned it, the set pieces are going to be so big for Husson, and they were there. Showing up in a big way was Reed.
And now if Husson can hold on for 3 minutes for the first half, they will have a positive halftime speech. Lindsay Reed hit hard in the midfield. Bates really trying to force something now. Could have that been the wake-up call they needed to start their season? Here's Schwartz trying to dump it back off to her midfielder. Gets it back, trying to go for a cross.
That's exactly what you want as Husson, though. Going into the half, 1-0 up would be so huge for them. I mean, they've defended so well, and I mean, you almost feel a little bad for Litley because I mean, she'd been playing a pretty good game up until that point, but
it's another big block by Nicholson, and it will force a corner.
It's got to be faster, Jillian. We can't watch.
that ball took a bounce too, Caden, so you got to think somebody like Smith, if that sort of thing would have happened to her, I don't think she lets it take that bounce. I think she comes out and gives it a punch, so again, the different styles here is we see the corner cleared
Big
away
clearance.
easily.
Trying to just get this ball across the half, finish the half. Eagles up 1-0 with 1:45 to go in the first.
Amy, come on. Amy, this way.
Nice little movement right there by Middlestat. She cuts it back. Long shot by her. Just goes wide. It will be a goal kick with 1:23 remaining.
Down. Slow down. Relax. Relax.
We talked about the loss of seniors, but we haven't talked about gaining one back in the coaching department. Megan Buddymeyer joined the staff as an assistant coach at the start of the season.
Emma, someone's got to come in the middle.
Yeah, she's someone who really can take control, and she's a voice of reason for those players, somebody who they're really going to listen to, and
Get up.
that's big when you talk about.
I've always liked the role of the student assistant. Normally there's someone who has had some experience with the team, rather that be a captain or a 4-year player who is attending grad school, but now they can be that middle between what the captains and the players are feeling to what the coaching staff is feeling. It is a very important and underrated position, I feel like, a part of a coaching staff.
It is too, because I mean, off of the soccer side of things too, it's somebody who knows what it's like to really go through college, and not to say the coaches are too old, but that's not what I'm saying, but knows what it's like to really be in that position now, and to be a student here, and understanding those things are really important when it comes to how you'll play your confidence, and because your confidence affects your ability too, and it's just really good that Husson brought her along.
As the first half ends with the Eagles up 1-0. 45 minutes to go, Phillip, but these Eagles are feeling pretty happy going into the halftime.
Yeah, they are. They were able to sneak in a goal, and absolutely they were very much going to be counting themselves lucky not to be down 1 or 2, as their defense has come up really, really big this half, and they'll need to have another strong half because Bates, I'm sure, will come out firing.
And what is that speech that Bates coach is going to say over there to the Bobcats?
Well, you got to do better. I mean, this team hasn't lost since 2010, so you got to do better. You got to get more pressure. You got to do more with your chances. You know, you've had 1 or 2 in the 6-yard box. You should be finishing that in there. You know, you've been able to turn your defenders 1 or 2 times really well, but you got to have that end product if you're going to be successful, and they haven't had that yet. So I think that'll be the message to the team.
The Bobcats have certainly played really well, especially after that first 10 minutes. It seemed like they got their legs under them quite a bit. Started forcing a little bit more crosses. Jamison on that wing was really forcing quite a bit. But we will see what happens. 14 minutes to go until the start of the second half. Caden Trenowith alongside Philip Robarge. Husson leads 1-0 going into the break. We'll see you at the second half. As the second half about ready to get underway, the Husson University Eagles hold the 1-0 advantage going into the second half. The halftime stats that really stick out, though, Phil, Bates has had the possession, 63% total so far in this game. Just haven't found that opening. Obviously, 4 shots on goal, 4 saves for Gabriella Smith.
No, exactly. They've had more possession, they've had more chances, but they haven't had quality chances, Caden. It's been pretty routine stuff for Smith. I mean, 1 or 2 times she's had to really sprawl out to get to them, but they just haven't been clinical enough with those chances. I think that's something definitely that they would have talked about in that halftime, and something that I think we'll see change.
Important second half substitution to start right off. Sydney Litney is off, and they've brought in the freshman goalkeeper Brady Jacobson, the Weston Mass native, making her first Bobcats appearance. She'll play out the rest of this game.
Yeah, the change isn't really that surprising. I mean, Litney, you could tell she just was off a little bit tonight. It's certainly not the kind of performance she'll want to remember, and something that hopefully Jacobson can, for Bates's concerns, can do a little bit better of a job.
It's important to know it could have been a pregame decision as well. Jacobson did have her full uniform on at the very start, started warming up pretty early. Knowing it's an out-of-conference game, NESCAC obviously holds himself to a higher standard than the North Atlantic Conference. So definitely could have been a pregame decision as well. Husson trying to add to their advantage so far. This cross is played in. Pangborn puts a head on it. First touch of the game for Jacobson.
Ooh, they wouldn't, would they? Go and get a second goal against Bates?
Again, they haven't done it since 2010. That's also the last time they won against this Bates program. It's been 15 years.
Well, I mean, it's going to be about the defense now, Caden. I don't necessarily see any way that they can sustain possession in this team, not with just the quality that's on Bates' team. I think they're going to have to rely on their defense. They're going to have to continue to keep up that defensive momentum that they had, basically, in terms of all of their block shots and really closing down Bates' attack. They're going to have to contain Jamison, especially in this half. They'll be looking to her more, as they did in the first half. You mentioned it, those left-footed crosses going into the box.
Ball went out of bounds. It looks like the ref on the sideline called the foul, and it will be a free kick for Bates instead of a Husson throw-in.
Good, Taya. Good, Taya. Force in. Atta girl. Well done, Tay. Well done, Black. Brilliant. Slow it down.
Dennis Mullins loving what he's seen so far from the Husson Eagles. Couple good midfield battles so far to start this second half.
Yeah, I think he's loving the possession that Husson's enjoying right now. They're really not making too many bad passes as that one goes astray.
That one deflects off Madison Higgins. They're trying to force the break now. It's Rachel Suh, but Nicholson is there to clear it away.
That could have been dangerous there. You had Jamison running down that wing as there's the foul. Questioning whether or not it's going to be given.
Iron stays down after some hard contact. And it looks like she will get up under her own power. Some movement down on the Husson end, starting to warm up. Out of conference game, you wouldn't be surprised if Mullins goes very quickly to the bench just to be cautious.
Yeah, you have to too. Just not even for that, but just you got to keep fresh legs going, because you really can't afford to be tired against this team and to just have a little lapse in concentration, because, again, this is a tough NESCAC school.
Loud cheers from the crowd after a big midfield battle won by Lindsay Reed. Shuts down the counterattack for the Eagles.
Yeah, we've seen that all day, just the back and forth physicality between these two teams. That'll definitely continue.
Lindsay Reed, the goal scorer, one of 5 players to not get subbed off in that first half, has played every minute of this game so far. Haley Irons trying to force some action. She gets it out of her little defensive block.
This is similar to the start of the first half where Husson really just looking much the better side, whereas Bates looking out of sorts. As they get to another ball, they're getting to the 50-50 as well.
Here is Jamison. She's going to try to hit a through ball here. Monaco seeing what she can do on it. Cuts it back towards the middle, trying to find some space. She's going to hit it all the way to the flag. Martin's going to run onto it. That one's blocked in front. It will be another corner kick for Bates. That is another halftime stat that really jumped out at us. This is now going to be Bates' 7th corner kick of the game. Most of them have caused Husson to rattle just a tad, but have gotten it cleared every single time. Husson has yet to have a corner kick, however. Ball comes in. This one trying to find, looks to be Monaco on the back post.
Yeah, I think that one was intended for, just overcooked a little. But back to that play before the corner, I think Monaco was looking for Jamison on the overlap, but she was able to turn to spin and find a woman on the wing. It was a spectacular play by her, and we're seeing just more and more of those through balls that are maybe starting to poke some holes in some Husson defense.
Looked to be a hard foul there in the middle. Crowd really getting into it now on the far side of us.
Yeah, they are. They like what they see from this Husson team, winning and in a winning position, something that they haven't seen again for just such a long time. They're enjoying themselves.
Another great defensive stand there from the Eagles, playing in a tough ball, but don't look now. Here's Monaco trying to force it in. Nice little cutback move right there by Martin to no avail.
Again, Husson, again, just enough to get it out.
Good run there from Pangburn. St. Louis thought she had someone running past her. Husson's getting the ball back anyway. Here's Gerfin, finds St. Louis, right back to Gerfin. That one looks like it might be out for a corner, but they're going to call it a goal kick.
Hey, good stuff, Black. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Looked like it could have been touchdown there by the Bates back line. Refs have better view than we do up here in the box, though.
Nonetheless, it was still a great chance, a great give and go there, and again, not able to get the corner, but just still the attacking threat is there for the Eagles at the moment. Much more so than Bates.
What I really like seeing from this Eagles squad right now is they are very relentless on off-ball attacks. They are staying right on the player they are supposed to guard, and they are forcing these mistakes.
Yeah, their man marking has been just exceptional in this one, as you said, and it's important too that in those one-on-one battles that you do stick to your person and you don't leave them. You don't want to leave them exposed and leave yourself exposed.
Schilter finds St. Louis, trying to find Pangburn on the run. This ball's bouncing around. Good clearance there by Hill, just getting it around.
Yeah, anywhere will do. It was a great chance because believe it was Higgins who was ready to be set free if she got that ball. A lot of open space.
You thumped it. See it out. Emma, take this one. Stay with it. Stay with it, Haley. Stay with it. Good double. Love that, Jackie.
Devin St. Louis almost on a run. Another good clearance by this Bates squad.
Yeah, they're really excelling at what Husson excelled at in the first half, really getting those clearances and getting the ball out and not allowing Husson to get that final threat.
Big kick there. This one might be trouble. That was Paige Dunn off the volley.
Was that on her left foot?
I believe so, giving Jacobson some trouble. That one just goes over. These first 10 minutes, Phillip, has felt like more of the same. Very much a seesaw game right now. One defense showing up, starts the counterattack. The other defense says, I can do better.
It is, yeah. It's just very much a back-and-forth game. It's got really cagey at times with, again, play just opening up in spurts and not really end-to-end stuff.
Good stuff, ladies.
But
organized. Well done.
have to see if this continues. I can't imagine.
Excellent.
As we see,
Play.
nothing called there. I can't imagine that Husson can sustain the ball and can sustain this pressure on Bates, but we will see.
Right through. Right through.
St. Louis. Tarbox cuts in. Left foot.
Well done, Hale.
Easily scooped by Jacobson.
Yeah, she'll want that one back. That was such a good chance. She had the space, she had the time, but just couldn't find the finish.
With the off foot, just didn't seem to have enough power there. I mean, that's a long way out. That's one heck of a take.
Pick it up, Taya. Go, Taya.
But it shows her confidence, too. I mean, she really is confident, even in her weaker foot, to take something on like that.
Come on, Hale. Come on.
It shows you how, again, the confidence that this team is playing with.
Ailey's on. Ailey's on. Ailey's on.
Trying to find Gerfin on this left-hand side for the Eagles.
Yeah, you got to find her at that ball. I mean, she had just so much time and space.
Here are the Bobcats trying to force something. Monaco enters into the box. Good play by Nicholson. She is having one heck of a defensive debut here at Boucher Field.
She is, yeah. I mean, that was just an incredible recovery by Husson there, because that one could have been really, really costly. Giving Monaco all that space.
Pangburn. Big touch trying to run on it. Good play by Dunn. Shuts down what would have been quite the build-up brewing.
Maddie, step. Maddie, get up. On your back.
Back to Jacobson, getting the ball to settle now for the Bobcats. Another big midfield battle won by the Eagles. Tangled up in the midfield is Reed and looks to be Martin. But now here come the Bobcats on the attack. This ball might get past Nolt. Here's Monaco. What can she do with it? Nolt coming in. That one just goes wide. Monaco with one heck of an opportunity.
Yeah, it was just a tight angle at the end, but really good job to settle that ball, control it, and again with the oncoming Nolt, she was able to get by her and put in a good effort there. Not troubling Smith, though.
This time Nicholson on the goal kick.
Well done, Maddie. Great.
Big duel there in the midfield. Goes out for a goal kick. That one was a booming explosion right off the ball. Two players going for it. Hear that one from here over the headsets. Dunn's in the midfield. Finds Higgins.
It's a great ball there.
Couple good stringing together passes. Tarbox trying to find St. Louis. Here's Pangborn running onto it. What can she do with it? She's going to try to find Devin St. Louis on a through ball to no avail. Good recovery there by the Bobcats, Philip.
Yeah, it was another good recovery, but Husson again able to just find a way through using their defenders to really start the build-up in that play. It's such a crucial thing when you can have defenders who can also contribute with a good pass offensively like that.
Just under 30 minutes to go. The Eagles still holding on to a 1-0 advantage.
Yeah, they can't be looking at the clock now. It's still a long way to play and a lot more defending and for them to do. We'll see now. You would think they would want to push on and get a second. Don't think that's out of the cards, you know. They've had such a good first half. Goals might not be done today.
Addie Lasley, who was a halftime substitution, taking a bit longer of a breather. Back in the substitution box. She's ready to go back in. Nagaro trying to find her option. Settles back at a Bobcat feet. Pangburn gets it up to St. Louis, who's going to dump it back off to her winger. Irons just couldn't run onto it, just a tad too long.
Another misplaced pass there.
Good play by Nolt with the shield. This one's just going out. Can Higgins save it from the throw-in? She can't. Bates throw in a dangerous area. A couple substitutions coming in. Lasley, and I believe that's Evie Flint coming back on. 3 substitutions for the Bobcats.
We saw earlier in the first half with that long throw they had. This is a similar position now for them. We'll see if they can go to that again, and we'll see what they can do with this. It could be the potential of a real offensive threat here if they decide to go long.
Checking in for the Bobcats, number 15, Bridget Murphy. Number 4, Aurora Ella Neal. And number 26, Lane Riddle. And checking in for the Eagles, number 6, Addie Lasley. And number 10, Evie Flint.
Foul called there. So it'll be a free kick now in a pretty dangerous area. This one's going to be played like a corner here for the Bobcats.
Yeah, it's a silly one to give away, too. I mean, you don't want to give anything in that area.
Ball played in. This one bounces around quite a bit. Finds Higgins' feet, and she'll just kick it away for a throw-in. Bending, not yet to break, is this Eagles back line.
Exactly. I mean, it's more of the same from what we saw in that first half. And it's going to have to be, again, long way to go, but the minutes, rather, ticking away here. And if they can just continue to get clearances out and to be solid defensively, you got to think it's going to be hard for Bates to find a goal.
Riley Speed and Zoe Middlestat checking in. 2 players who added a lot of offensive depth in that first half, seeing what they can do for their teams.
Yeah, I like this strategy from Mullins here, pushing on for a second goal while they're ahead, while they have a little bit of possession here. And sure, you give up a little defensively, but as you said, Caden, so crucial was Middlestat and company offensively in that first half.
Miscommunication there by Lasley. Riley Speed out there on the wing, just subbing in.
Step up.
Lasley's going to try to run on this 50-50 ball. Hard foul there. Oh, they didn't call it. It's actually going to be a throw-in. Leland hit the floor. That one will be a foul. I wonder if the crowd can be playing to a little bit of temperament out there.
Yeah.
Hey, Kaylee's on. Kaylee and Emma.
Scored from an opportunity like this. Granted, it was a lot closer. This one's pretty closer to that halfway line. But anything can happen on these set pieces.
Exactly. Got to be ready for that second ball.
Go on, Emma.
This one just staying inside the 18, cleared out by the Bobcats.
Simple.
It will be a Eagles ball. Nolt with it. Trying to find a through ball. She might find St. Louis just a little bit too far.
Yeah, it was a nice idea. There's definitely like the idea there. That was the right ball, but just too far there. But we're seeing Husson on the same page offensively here, and especially with winning back the ball and going straight up on that counter. They're really proving to be still a threat.
Zoe Middlestat, one heck of a turn right there on Kaylee Nolt. But good recovery by the two-time NAC Defensive Player of the Year.
Win it. Hold it up. Man on your back. Stay with it. Go ahead.
Handball called there on Devin St. Louis. Misplayed there by Riley Speed. She was the last defender for the Eagles. That one could have been really dangerous if there was a Bates player right there, Phil.
Yeah, that's right. It was just not enough on the header, and I think that confused her because it just skimmed off her head in the end.
Lasley providing a lot of pressure right there. Jacobson doing a good job staying calm.
Taya, come on, Taya! Taya, I can't have you walking back. You cannot be walking.
Old play-by-play announcer Avery Henningsen referred to Kaylee Nolt as a brick wall on numerous occasions. She is certainly living up to that right now.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen throughout the game how just important she's been, just a stalwart defender for them. You called her a wall. I'll call her a fortress. That's just the amount of impact that she's had right now. As Martell comes in.
First time seeing Martell since she came off for that injury break in the first half. Gaining more presence in the midfield.
Reed and Paige, stay down here with me, please. You can get water. You're fine.
Checking in for the Bobcats, number 24, Hannah Ribeiro. And checking in for the Eagles, number 8, Laura Martell.
Big challenge there. All ball, says referee. Nicole Tandanitsky checks back in. She'll go up to the front line, taking out Eleanor Martin. We had a couple good runs so far to start this second half, just couldn't get past that back line.
Checking in for the Bobcats, number 27, Nicole Tandanitsky.
Yeah, it's just a frustrating day all around for Bates. I mean, they've just not found a way past this Husson team, something that they didn't think they would have trouble with coming into it, I'm sure. But again, you got to remember, Husson has played 2 games more than they have, and sometimes when you're just starting out in that first game, you're not really too overly not able to take chances as well as you could, having a couple games under you and familiarizing yourself like Husson is.
21 minutes to go in the second half. Husson holds on. It's their first victory over Bates in almost 15 years.
Yeah, that urgency that they've played with has not stopped. That's something that we saw in the first 5 minutes of this game, with them just the pressing and just wanting it more than Bates.
Number 7, Lindsay.
Again, it's just something that has just continued as this game has moved through, and it's something that we'll definitely need to continue these last 20 minutes here.
Short shift for Evie Flint as she checks back off. Lindsay Reed back in. Much like the last 20 minutes in the first half, Husson has seemed to shift to more of a defensive point of view here. Still on the very much pressuring on that first touch for the Bobcats, but you can kind of see more drop backs from Lasley and the more of attacking midfielders dropping back as well.
Good work, Addy. Gabby. Move your feet. Slow, easy.
I believe that's the first time Gabby Smith has touched the ball in the second half. She has not seen a lot of action. Most of the battles have been in the midfield here the first 25 minutes.
Exactly, and it's something that really I didn't see to be the case. I thought she would be just peppered this half by Bates, but incredibly Husson's been able to keep the ball and win those battles in the midfield and push them on the counter. Here we go.
Big cross played in. Great defensive stand by the Bates Bobcats. Nicholson will run onto it. She'll find Gerfin. Some tiki-taka passing, but it will be offside and a free kick.
Yeah, it's always frustrating when the linesman doesn't put their flag up right away. You have to wait a little bit until that attack peters out. But it was good play there. It was good pass and move play. So we see the aggressiveness there from Jacobson. Something we didn't see too much with Litley in goal now. We're definitely seeing more of capitalizing on those just balls that are close to her.
Nicholson making a run from the back line. She's trying to cut into the midfield. This could leave Husson a dangerous opportunity. Big touch there by Middlestat. She's going to lay off a through ball to Mater. That one's going to go out of bounds. When Husson has found themselves in these opportunities where their defense might get tested, they're doing a great job of just clearing that ball, allowing themselves to reset. Nicholson playing really aggressive right there. Big hit in the midfield. And that one's going to be a card, I believe.
I wouldn't be surprised, Caden, if that one's a yellow card. That didn't look great from my point of view, and there it is from the ref distributing the yellow there.
That was Jameson laying down the shoulder, and she will pick up the first caution of the year to the Bates Bobcats.
Yellow card assessed to number 12, Gwen Jameson.
For how efficient Jameson was in that first half, she has been very much shut down here in the second.
Yeah, she hasn't just had merely a chance, has she? She's really been contained well by this Husson defense. Something that, again, that surprises me that I didn't think was going to be the case of this half, but she has just not had anything doing for her this half.
Slow it down. Easy, sub.
Paige Dunn reappearing. She will go back in for Laura Martell.
Yeah, there's another defensive switch there. Dunn looking to do the business and shut up shop there.
Checking in for the Eagles, number 29, Paige Dunn.
Paige Dunn, only a sophomore, technically her freshman campaign was in 2023. Only played about 300 minutes, had 2 assists to her name. Missed last season due to an injury, but back fully healthy for 2025.
Yeah, she's back, and that's definitely a positive for Coach Mullins there, having someone who can be so good on both sides of the ball, as Dunn is. Ooh, question of a handball there.
Paige Dunn with a 1. It's another volley from her outside
right.
the 18 that has absolutely been skied, but she is not afraid to let loose.
No, she isn't. I mean, this entire team is just playing with some kind of confidence.
Drop in, good. First ball, Black.
Lindsay Reed wins the midfield battle. Lays off to Gerfin. That one played in. Good. Punch out by Jacobson. What can they do with the rebound? Now cleared by the Bobcats.
Yeah, Jamison there knew she didn't have enough time there to really get a hand on. Only thing she could do was punch it away. That was a great ball.
That was a great counterattack by Bates as well. Almost had Middlestadt running on, but Kaylee Nolt with the slide tackle to get the ball well out of play. Just under 15 minutes to go now. Can the Husson Eagles hang on? What would you like to see from both these teams in the last 15 of this game?
I'd like to see, starting with Bates, you just got to find a way to get more of the ball. They haven't had nearly enough of the ball, as we see quite a few substitutions. And
a platoon swap here for the Bobcats. Checking in most of the people who started this game, as they're going to go for the win here.
Absolutely. And as far as Husson goes, I mean, just more of the same. You got to find a way to continue this pressure defensively.
This is where the Bobcats have looked the most dangerous so far this game, on their crosses, on the corners. This ball played in. It is all Eagles right off the first touch.
Another incredible performance from a set piece by this Eagles defense. Not giving anything away, not allowing them just even sight at goal.
Stand her up, right?
Here comes the attack. They find Suh. That one was a 2-on-1 opportunity. Just couldn't get the first touchdown. Cleared away by Dunn, and they will reset.
Yeah, it's a reminder there of who you are playing. I mean, this team does not need a second invitation. Even though they've not been at their best today, they still are a tough NESCAC school. And crucial counterattacks like that. Only one mistake, and they can be back in this game.
Those Bates College substitutions, number 19, Gabby Monaco.
Suh found herself on the score sheet twice last year. 2 assists at the end of the game in the 4-1 victory versus Husson. That opened their season last year. There's Suh again. She's going to lay this one off. I believe that's Nikki Boyd who just checked into the game. Cross played in, back out. Big shot there by Martin, but another big block by the Eagles defensive unit.
Yeah, no, just directing traffic there, getting another block to her.
Pulse is starting to rise. Looks like the coaches are checking the clock every minute, every second.
Well done, Eddie. Lastly, way to be tough. I saw the elbow. Come two. You're standing still. Anticipate. Gamble.
Addie Lasley has a chance to run onto it. Just a tad too long. Jacobson comes out of the edge of her box to get it.
Again, just another ball that, we see a mistake here. that could have been big. But just another ball that was a little too far. You got to think if one of those can connect, that she'll be in with a great chance to score. I want to go out again for another throw, and continued pressure by Husson is something that is just not what Bates was expecting. Yes, they don't take a lot of shots, but they had a lot of quality chances in that first half, and they just have not been the same this second half. They haven't had nearly the same chances.
Big cross by Lasley. Gerfin trying to run onto it. Can't seem to get there. This one going to be cleared away by the Bobcats.
Easy, drop in.
Looked up for a second. Only Eagle back right there was Nolt, who cleared it away.
Yeah, this is really just an attack mindset by Coach Mullins here. It's not afraid to strike while the iron's hot.
Go to the corner.
Here's Dunn. Running to the flag, killing some time. That's exactly what she'll do as 10:15 remaining, getting down to the 10-minute mark.
I still think it's a little early to be doing something like that, but again, this is something that not really expected to see. A team leading by one goal, continue to press on, continue to attack. You would think with this little left in the game that they would be trying to get everybody back.
Schulter checks back in. Important note for the 2025 NCAA soccer rules. The clock used to stop after 10 minutes for home team or winning team sub, that is. Now it is 15 minutes. That is why the clock stopped there as Cassie Schulter comes in for Madison Higgins. This one will be a goal kick for Smith and another sub here, but this one is for Bates. It's Nagaro, who has looked pretty good in the midfield, checking back in, trying to force some action, get the game-tying goal.
Checking in for the Bobcats, number 7, Katie Nogaro.
Good turn by Tarbox. It's another one. This one's going to be a foul. The Eagles have been complaining about it. They've wanted a couple calls that they didn't get. They get that one. This one's going to be a free kick, and Nolt will definitely take her time.
Yeah, no need to rush here for Husson. No need to just play a big ball either. Maybe play it short.
The clock ticks under 10 minutes. Nolt takes her free kick all the way to the back line. Bad pass there by Speed. Could spring a counterattack by Bates. Nicholson, great defensive stand. And another one. Here's Sush. She's going to take a wide shot. Smith hits it up and saves it.
Yeah, great job there. Good awareness to parry it herself and not try and just catch it or punch it over the bar. But that was very, very close to spelling danger for Husson. One pass, Caden. That's all it took to ignite this counterattack.
Here's Suh again. She's going to take this one again. This one's going well wide. What a play by the freshman keeper wearing number 44 in all pink. Doing a tremendous job just keeping that ball out of the net.
Yeah, she has. Again, just so influential. She's really made her mark felt in this game. And again, it's something that very excited to see for Coach Mullins, I would think.
Quick action pushed by the Bates sideline. As we will get an injury substitution clock. Will stay running, or stopped, I believe.
Yeah, question of blood on the shirt there. And
Mullins
NCAA
wanted that
rules.
one a lot sooner than it was actually called.
He did. But nonetheless, it is called. And
It's just done putting the cotton swab in. No substitution was made, so they're playing with 10 people right now. Hard foul right there. Jamison already on a yellow card. Got to be cautious right there.
And checking in for the Eagles, number 8, Laura Martell.
yeah, she's going to wait till she's out of play, but can't come in on a free kick. It does look like, I think you're right, Caden, they don't think they made a substitution.
I do believe Laura Martell was the one that entered the game. Dunn will go right back in immediately. But the clock has to stop. Quick 15-second shift or so from Martell. Jillian Long looking to re-enter the game on the next dead ball.
Checking back in for the Eagles, number 29, Paige Dunn.
Through ball played, but Smith there again to grab. She is reading this field really, really well.
She is. It's hard to believe she's a freshman, Caden. She looks like a seasoned pro there.
That's an offside flag. Bates wanted a foul on the Nicholson challenge, but instead they'll have to deal with a free kick on the offside ruling. Clock ticks under 6 minutes now. 5 minutes and 45 seconds away from their first victory against Bates College in 15 years.
Yeah, and they definitely can't be thinking that yet. 5 minutes is still an eternity when talking in terms of soccer and in terms of having a chance to score a goal. So you just got to make sure that your composure is there and that you're making the smart plays.
Big kick by Dunn. That one's hanging up in the air for quite some time. Lasley trying to run onto it. Ball stays in. Griffin trying to push some defense. Good challenge there. St. Louis drops it off to Tarbox. Cuts it back. Finds Dunn, who's going to take a shot. This one's on the keeper.
Yeah, a little far out from Dunn, but I like the idea. I like the idea of forcing them to play from their keeper and initiate offense from there.
Good step by Nolt. She's going to try to get this one to the flag. Good defense right there from the Bobcats. Ball bouncing around in the midfield. Dunn with the cotton swab in.
Yeah, dangerous.
Aaron pass right there from Smith. But Lindsay Reed's there to clean it up.
That's the first time that Smith has had to make a play with her feet. Certainly a dangerous kick there, but Bates unable to capitalize on that. It's just not been their day. Not bad day at the office for them all around. I mean, it's just they haven't created at all this second half.
Costly foul there by Katie Noguero in the midfield. Bates had regained possession, looking to push the counter. Clock ticks down to 3:45. Nicholson right in the Husson circle to take a free kick. Good play by Dunn. She finds the feet of St. Louis. Plays it on to Gerfin. Trying to bring it to the corner. Good play by Nicholson. Slide tackle kills the counterattack. This one's going down to kill time. Kaylee Knoll is going to have all the time in the world to take down some seconds. As she does, just standing and waiting. Two Bates players pursue. This one just played around in the midfield. Lindsey Reed trying to get this one to Tarbox. Ends up being a turnover. Here's Jamison working her way down to the midfield after being on the wing for quite some time. Eagles looking a little bit tired, but they need to hang on for about 2 more minutes.
Another crunching tackle there by Dunn.
Slide
Another
tackle
one
by
by
Nolt. No call. And they're going to actually call it. It was advantage played for quite some time, and it is going to be a costly foul by Nolt. And it is going to set up a free kick in prime position to cause some havoc. Nicholson doing a good job killing what was supposed to be a quick take. Jamison will take it. About 25 yards out this is. Smith lining up her wall. 2 minutes and 24 to go.
Yeah, you got to look for Sue or somebody like that in the box. Get a header on.
3-person wall. Smith in an athletic position. Jamison with a shot. This one finds the back of the net. Jamison from 30 yards out ties the game up at 1 with 2:20 remaining.
Wow. Absolutely deflating goal, Caden.
Dennis Mullins in disbelief. He disagreed with the original foul call. A costly foul by Nolt. 30 yards out, and it just sneaks over the head of Smith.
Yeah, she's going to be thinking about that one. It's tough because she played such a good game, and to give up a foul like that, or again, especially with the decision that, who would be a referee in that case, but I don't know if that was a foul, but again, the ref's decision is final. She gave it away, and now you're looking at a 1-1 score.
And now Husson, who settled into this defensive attitude, now has 2 minutes to try to get re-aggressive.
Exactly. It's not really necessarily a time where you can even get a sub in.
Here's Saw with a touch around. She shoots into the corner. The game has been flipped on its head in the span of a minute. Bates College has taken a 2-1 advantage out of nowhere.
What a collapse, Caden. And their strong point, this Husson team, being able to defend the counter, has just given up a goal on the counter.
Rachel Saw out of nowhere, out of nothing, creates a goal and creates a 2-1 advantage for the Bobcats. And they are in prime position for their first win of the season.
Well, in a flash, Caden, there's just almost no room to even make any more passes. I mean, Husson, they tried defensively to just shut up shop, but again, you lose your concentration after 1 goal. You lose a little bit of focus, and then boom, you're down 2-1. Urgency has to be there for Husson now. They have to press on for an equalizer.
Big collision in the box. No foul called. It will just be a throw-in. Husson up in arms, already mad about the Nolt foul on the other end. Mullins saying it's the same exact tackle that just happened outside of the box. But this one scooped up by Jacobson. Now a minute to go. This game has been flipped on its head, Phil.
Yeah, it's just really hard to believe, too. I mean, it's just everything's happened so fast, but Husson have to, as Coach Mullins screaming at their players to press, they have to look for an equalizer. Now they have to look for a way back into this game, but you're right, Caden. This has just been flipped on its head. Who saw this coming?
Great defensive stand right here. Believe that is Monaco still in there, just shielding that ball, killing a lot of time. 25 seconds to go. Just holding on to the ball now. On the touchline, can't do anything with it. They'll call it out of bounds, but nothing can be done in these next 10 seconds. Bates Bobcats come back from absolutely nothing in the last 5 minutes to create a 2-1 advantage and take their first win of the season. What a game. Absolutely crickets on the Husson sideline, jumping for joy on the other one.
They were this close, Caden. They were a minute away from erasing a 15-year wait. But they're going to have to wait longer. They don't play Bates for again this year. They were this close, Caden.
An unbelievable game. We said it before. This defense for the Eagles was playing a bend, don't break style, especially down that stretch. Those last 3 minutes, it finally broke, and the Bobcats took advantage of it.
They did. Just the ultimate chance takers. They just gave it all out on the line. You get the free kick goal, sure, but just to go on the counter like that and in such quick play and get a goal, it's incredible. But what a way to lose for Husson. What a way for you to lose a game like that. It's just, what a game.
Jamison and Suh, the goal scorers, 87-38 and 88-03 in the game. An unbelievable turnaround for what was looking like a promising first W of the season for the Eagles. Goes around to the other sideline. It's the first W in the first game for the Bobcats. What a game. What a game. But till then, we're signing off. Caden Trenowith and Phil Robarge. We'll be back on Saturday. We got a little bit of an interesting matchup. Men's soccer and their home debut. They're going to be taking on Suffolk University, who is always a good matchup. I believe they were in the national tournament last year. They posed a little bit of a threat, had a couple good games last year as well. But until then, Caden Trennan with Phil Robarge signing off. Bates Bobcats with an epic comeback win in 2-1 fashion. We will see you Saturday.